One. Okay, so ladies and gentlemen, I got back from seeing the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. Moved me. Move me. That's not right. But I just got back from seeing the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So I'm gonna talk about like everything about this movie. I might miss some things, but I did just get back from seeing the entire thing. So this is a spoiler review as well. So when I get into spoilers, I'm gonna enable this text box that says spoiler territory. So, but you may consider things, like in the beginning as well a spoiler if you're trying to go through this, entirely blind. So, before I actually, start, before I start the review, I guess I'll go ahead and give a little mini review, like a mini non-spoiler review, right here. So, no, this movie is not a complete, enjoyable train wreck. This movie, I think, is actually, I thought it was an enjoyable, good movie overall, surprisingly. And I don't think anybody expected that coming from a live action Sonic the Hedgehog movie. And I'm going to explain literally like everything why I think this is the case. So yeah. But if you're, it's a great family movie. So if you're looking for a good family movie to take your kids to see, just because you think they may enjoy it, then it's a great family movie for sure. It's great for families. You won't be miserable watching it, because, the actors, it's pretty funny. It's pretty comedic. I laughed quite a bit during it. If you're a Sonic fan, you absolutely will enjoy the movie. But it does have its flaws, and I will get into those flaws as we go. And I might take a few breaks because I'm gonna try and make this a very lengthy discussion on this movie. So without diving into spoilers, I thought it was all right. Not terrible. Not great. It was pretty good overall. It was a solid movie, all in all. But it's not really going to do anything to shock you during the film. So that's the thing. If you're going in surprise, if you're thinking there's going to be surprise after surprise, not really. It's a relatively harmless film that you'll get a couple of laughs out of. So, yeah. And it's pretty epic from time to time. So, if you're into that kind of stuff, you will enjoy the Sonic movie. With that said, I think it's time we dissect this movie bit from bit. And we talk about all the little things that happen. So, from the beginning to the very end of the movie and the post-credits scene. And we'll talk about that post-credits scene, let me tell you. So anyway. So, now we are diving into the beginning of the movie. The very beginning. So, it opens up in the city with Sonic being chased by Dr. Robotnik, which in this case is Jim Carrey. And no substance whatsoever, it's just happening. And then it pauses, and then Sonic, says, Sonic, does the whole rewind thing and tell you how these events came, how everything led up to the events that's happening right now. It's one of those kind of movies. So then it cuts to Green Hill, and we have then it plays Sonic Mania music with the one of the Hyper Potion songs. I forgot what it was called. I think it was called Friends. I think that's what it was. So it plays that song while Baby Sonic is running around, and then he comes home to an owl guardian, a female owl guardian. I think that's who's been watching Sonic for like however long. It's a completely different Sonic, by the way. Sonic from the movie is not canon Sonic from the game, so that's kind of how it's been. But anyway, he's told to not tell his powers to anybody. He was born with, supreme power that he's not supposed to be telling anybody of, but of course he tells everybody because, it's Sonic. He's an explorative kid at this age, and, yeah, so, of course he's not going to keep his mouth shut about it, and this gets him, after he brings a flower to his guardian, that is when the freaking Echidna tribe comes in. The Echidna tribe comes in and freaking tries to stop Sonic. They try to capture Sonic, which I didn't really expect. The Echidna tribe, of all things. Yeah, no, this is the very beginning of the movie, by the way. Like, in the very beginning, you see the Echidna tribe just come out of nowhere, and then just, they're trying to hunt Sonic down, trying to take his power. So that was pretty surprising. I don't know if it has anything to do with Knuckles. Knuckles isn't really in the movie. Spoiler alert. So that's that. So again, they have to run. They have to run out of their house, and the Echidna tribe is chasing them, and then the owl says that Sonic must leave her behind. Sonic must leave Owl Lady behind. So he gives her, the Owl Lady gives Sonic a bag of rings, and these rings can apparently transport through separate worlds and planets, which is very strange. Okay, I didn't know rings could do that, but that's what they do in this movie. They transport you to different worlds and stuff like that. So anyway, she uses the ring and sends Sonic through it to protect him, and she tells him that whenever you are being chased down, always keep running and use one of those rings to go to another world. So that's kind of what the whole thing is all about. So, and then Sonic goes through, and he wants to come back because he doesn't want to leave his guardian, but he kind of has to. So then he gets sent to the planet Earth, right? Right as the Echidna tribe are chasing them, and that is the last we ever see from the Echidna tribe. That they are in the beginning of the movie, and then they never appear again. So anyway, a couple of years pass. 10 years later, we cut to our boy Tom, or James Marsden, who's the actor. I'm just gonna call him Tom. Some people, Robotnik in the movie calls him something else. I honestly don't remember the name. So anyway, he's doing his job. He apparently is very, I don't know, he seems to be helpful with animals or something. I think that's what happens. He's a cop, obviously. He's like a sheriff. So we all know that. So anyway, trying to think. So Sonic is speaking by this man. You all saw the very first Sonic trailers where he runs by and the speed detector is like crazy. That's kind of what's happening. Sonic is running around him, and then Tom picks up the quill and he keeps it because it seems unordinary. It's electric for some reason, so he decides to keep it. So yay. So then Sonic comes out and he's playing with this turtle he saves this turtle at the last second. This turtle was actually what Tom had found on the street when he was trying to figure out what the heck the thing was picking up, because he kept hearing noises of Sonic running by. Anyway, Sonic then runs off with the turtle, and then he explains his life story about the town of Green Hill. Yes, Green Hill is in the real world, apparently. The Earth, and not the CGI land he was in before. So anyway, I'm getting thirsty. So anyway, Sonic says, you know, he says, like, I'm trying to remember. He says stuff like, everyone, likes him or something, but no one actually knows he's there. Sonic is a bit of a lonely guy in the movie. He that's kind of his thing. He's kind of lonely. He doesn't really have any friends. So whoopty frickin' do. Sonic, for some reason, is lonely, even though he has endless amounts of friends. He has endless amounts of friends, in the actual games, but, it's just him. And, I guess that's fine. You wouldn't really want to introduce a ton of different characters at once in the movie. The movie's trying to introduce who Sonic is, even though it's a completely different Sonic than the game Sonic. That's how it is. So, anyway, Sonic kind of gives a tour of his life, and he runs off into the woods into his cave, which is his current home, and and that's where it cuts to him, like, playing table tennis with himself and reading comics, playing with nunchucks and all that stuff. That's kind of his home. And, it's kind of cool, but anyway, then he picks up his rings and talks about how when people chase him, he's going to have to go to the next world, which is the mushroom world. And he hates mushrooms, which, haha, funny joke, Mario, Mushroom Kingdom. Mario was Sonic's rival. Pretty clever. But anyway, I'm probably skimming over quite a bit. There are probably some really important details that I'm missing. But I've just got back from seeing the movie, so it's still fresh on my mind, but I don't remember everything scene from scene. So if I get stuff in order incorrectly, then my apologies. But anyway, I'm honestly trying to remember what's next. Oh, and I think we're introduced to Tom and his family, his wife, and one of the kids is named Jojo. Yes, I actually laughed at that. I'm very immature. I'm very immature. But anyway, and Tom got a promotion, and he has to, I think he's moving to San Francisco. That's kind of where it happens. So yeah, he's going to be moving out and all that stuff. So anyway, and then cut to Sonic later. He's, enjoying the world. He's enjoying Earth. And then it cuts to him at this baseball game happening, and he's admiring it, but he's like all behind the bleachers and stuff because he's behind the bleachers because, nobody wants, he doesn't want anybody to see him, like Miss Owl Lady said. So yeah, Sonic is just kind of watching with everybody, but at the same time not watching with everybody. And then, like, a couple hours later at the night, he starts playing baseball with himself, which is pretty cute. We all saw that scene in the trailer. He starts playing baseball with himself, which gets him all excited, but then he realizes how lonely he truly is. Boo-hoo. Very sad. So yeah, then he gets mad, and then he starts running around the baseball. Then he starts running around the baseball field like crazy fast, and that's when the giant blue magnetic pulse cuts off the power from, like, all over Green Hill or the town or whatever. And it apparently even knocks the power out of the freaking satellite in space. How? That's crazy. Anyway. So Sonic's like, oh crap. I've done a bad, didn't I? Please tell me that everything's okay. But, everyone's mad. So, government. This is the one time we only see the government, so it's not that bad. So, anyway, I need to take a drink. Hold on. do have food right here. I'll eat it later. Alright. Okay. So, government. Talking about tracking down this thing that cut off the power, trying to find the source. But apparently they can't do it because they don't know machines or something. So anyway, they're like, oh no. We have to suggest who we really don't want to suggest. It's like, you're not thinking who I think you're suggesting, are you? And this man, of course, is Dr. Robotnik, Jim Carrey, the man. So, anyway. So yeah, they're dreading having Dr. Robotnik be the guy to have to track down this source. So then, cuts later to, you know, this field, and big freaking futuristic truck comes in this military base, and Dr. Robotnik comes out and does his funny little shtick. You know, he starts interrupting people, being mean to people. He says he's the one in charge. He's the big daddy. He's the one in charge. You know, I'm the shit. You know, I'm the one that's gonna be doing all of the work here because you are filthy humans and you don't know how to do nothing. So anyway, yeah. So Dr. Robotnik is the one that's gonna be on the case. I should just say, Dr. Robotnik is probably the best part of the movie, in my opinion. To me, it's Sonic and Dr. Robotnik. I'll just get that out of the way. Those steal every scene they're in. So I really liked all the scenes both of them were in. Besides maybe a few with Sonic. Anyway, what was I doing? So anyway, Dr. Eggman, Robotnik, whatever, and his robots, they start searching all throughout Green Hill, and you know, Sonic catches on, and this is when he's like, oh no, they're coming after me. More people are coming after me. I gotta go to the next world. All that jazz. So yeah, sends out guard dogs too. So pretty weird looking at that. So anyway, Sonic goes back to his little hidey hole, his cave where he used to live, and he has to pack up everything, and he's all sad because he has to leave his. He's all sad because he's got to leave his home. So, anyway, so he's packing up everything. Like everything is comics, his filthy Flash comics. I should also, well, I'll talk about that later. But so he packs up stuff, and he realizes he can't toss his ring to go to the next world in his cave because the forces are like, they're right outside, and I'm like, why can't you just well, I wasn't thinking that when I was in the theater. I was enjoying the movie, but you know, I'm like, why don't you just throw it and go? Well, I guess Sonic was dilly-dallying because he did legitimately enjoy Earth. So anyway, Sonic, you know, he gets out of there because he can't really do anything there. He can't go to the next world inside of his cave. So then he gets out, and then he finds another safer spot to, you know, use his rings at. So then Tom is on the phone with his wife, and Tom's on the phone with his wife when he hears a noise outside, and he sees a noise. He sees a noise. He hears a noise outside, so he goes to investigate. Sonic is busy hanging out in that little garage, so he's busy trying to. He's like, all right, I'm gonna throw this ring and I'm gonna go to the next world. And then Tom busts in with his dart gun, and that's the infamous And that's the infamous meow scene, except it looks a whole lot better. And they both scream, and then Sonic drops his ring, and it activates, and then he drops his bag of rings on top of the tallest building in San Francisco, which Sonic immediately recognizes that's exactly where it went. Well, I'm gonna assume he was thinking of the place, so that's where the portal went to. It went on top of the building. So now the rings are stuck there. The rings are stuck on top of the building, and then the portal closes. So Sonic is kind of goofed. He's done. He's trapped. Can't do anything, and the dart gets to him. Then he gets unconscious. All that jazz. So Tom brings him inside. Recognizes, oh, this quill matches the same color as this blue alien. Some crap like that. But anyway, so yeah, it puts him in the dog cage, and then surprise, Sonic wakes up later, tries to get out, and and then Sonic's like, I'm in trouble, not you. And it's like, I don't know. They have a conversation, and they're like, basically, everything that's happening is apparently Tom's fault. I don't know. I don't remember every quote from this movie, but anyway, they talk for a minute, and then Sonic's like, oh crap, the government's outside. If they find me, they're gonna take my power. And I should mention one thing earlier is that when Tom was, promoting himself to go out to San Francisco, he says he's gonna move on to more things. He's gonna move on to more scenarios, like do bigger scenarios, where people need him. And he wants to save people in these life or death scenarios. So that's the key word, life and death. So anyway, Sonic is saying, oh no, you need to help me. My legs are tired because you shot me, and stuff like that. Sonic is still very not okay from being shot with that blow dart. So anyway, so then Sonic's like, you have to help me, and he's like, please. And then he says, it's life or death. And oh boy, that gives Tom big ol' starey eyes. He's like, oh shit, a realization. Someone's asking me for a life or death scenario. So then he's like, okay, I'll help you. So anyway, he hides Sonic up in the attic. And then Tom goes outside to investigate what the heck is going on, and then Dr. Robotnik is busy inspecting footprints, because apparently the footprints have the energy signal he was looking for, apparently, because Sonic apparently is electric. It's the freaking Flash for some reason. So anyway, so then he sees Dr. Robotnik outside, and then Dr. Robotnik walks up to the door, and they're like, hi, could I inspect your house? And Tom's like, I don't think there's anything you need to see in the house. I'm a boy of the law. You don't need to see any of this. And Robotnik's like, you see, I'm the one in charge now. So anyway, they're having a conversation. Then Sonic has to deal with robots up in the attic because his Robotnik's drones are searching for him. They don't know him to scan things. So in the very last second, Sonic uses this ball maneuver and rolls out of the attic, and it makes noise. So Dr. Robotnik basically shoves Tom out of the way, and he's like, there's something in here, you're full of crap. So Sonic's busy hiding around, and Robotnik knows that something's there. And so he finds a blue quill, which apparently is the same power signal. And then, he's like, and then Robotnik's like, I'm going to give you 5 seconds to tell me where this thing is, or else you're going to frickin' die. So then he's busy counting down, and then Sonic, the hero, goes out and he's like, wait, don't hurt him, he's my friend. And then Robotnik screams, because who wouldn't have that reaction when seeing something like Sonic for the first time? So yeah, he screams, and then and then Tom punches him in the face, decks him in the face, apparently leaves him unconscious, which leads them to run out of the house, grab their stuff. They leave because more drones are on the way. So they get in the Sonic and Tom, they get in the truck, and then they drive off, and then right as the government came to, they were and Dr. Eggman, Robotnik's sidekick. So I forgot what his name was already, but it's just a human sidekick. He's there. So he's literally just there. So yeah. Anyway, so yeah, they drive off. Robotnik's sidekick, whatever you want to call him, his assistant, he goes inside, sees that Dr. Robotnik has been decked in the face, sunglasses are broken. Anyway, so then Robotnik's like, you see, this creature must be found. I'm going to neutralize it, uncover the source of its power, and see what makes it tick. Pretty funny looking Robotnik with his broken glasses. Again, I love Jim Carrey in this movie. He's really good. So, anyway, they drive off. Sonic and them drive off. So, anyway, Tom goes to the side of the road and then just is like, okay, goodbye. I don't want to see you again. I don't want to see you again, Sonic. Or they don't know that it's Sonic yet. But anyway, so actually before that, he's questioning like, okay, I need answers. Who are you? What are you? And stuff like, and then Sonic's like, I'm a hedgehog. Wouldn't that be obvious? And funny because I don't think anybody recognized that Sonic is a hedgehog. And if you first look at him and you didn't hear the phrase Sonic the Hedgehog, I didn't think Sonic was a hedgehog when I first looked at him, so yeah. Anyway, what happens? So, yeah, Tom drops off Sonic on the side of the road, and Sonic's like, wait, no, I need your help. I need your help to get me to San Francisco, because I don't know where it is. It's like, I need you to take me to San Francisco where my rings are, because it's the only way I'm getting the heck out of here. So, yeah, that's what happens. And then, Sonic's like, okay, fine, bye. I don't need your help anyway. So, and then he's like, crap, where is it? And then Tom just says west. So, Sonic's like, okay, fine, I'll go west. And then he does, and then he comes back and he's full of seaweed and fish on his head. And he's like, yeah, I don't know where I'm going. I need your help. And this is your fault, by the way, because you shot me. And then Tom's like, well, shit, I guess he's right. I did kind of shoot him, so I guess I might as well help him. So then Sonic's like, yay, road trip. We're best friends now. Yay. So, yeah, they go on the road and, all that stuff. And this is kind of where the middle point of the movie begins. And it kind of starts to drag a little bit, but it's still fine. So Sonic's all pumped up. Again, he's never really had any friends before, so he's really energetic and pumped up and annoying and stuff like that. That's okay. So anyway, get to the scene where he's like, hey, giant rubber band ball, I want to go see it, and comes back and he's like, it's pretty lame. So anyway, they stop at Tom pulls over at a phone booth to call his boss or something, that's what happens. There's also this boss. I forgot his name. I forgot a lot of the human characters' names. They're not bad, by the way. The human characters are not bad in this movie at all. In fact, I quite enjoy their characters. But, I just don't remember them as well, so my apologies. So, the only one I can remember is Tom, because, well, I mean, he's the main human character. So, anyway, so Tom goes to the phone booth, calls boss, and wouldn't you know it, Robotnik has already made it. Or, first of all, Tom tells Sonic to stay in the car, which Sonic has a lot of trouble doing. Anyway, Robotnik is actually on the phone because he's there trying to get answers from his boss. So yeah, not very good for him. Spills beans on a couple of things. Tom actually accidentally spills the beans on a couple of things. So that's very bad. And then fun joke about him, Robotnik, not doing other evil things like completely wiping his memory. Call like the police on him. So stuff like that. So anyway, Sonic in the car is being very anxious because there is in fact a party, a bar party, right outside this gas station with a payphone. So yeah, Sonic unsurprisingly sneaks out of the car to go join this party, and then Tom's like, oh shit, Sonic's out. Now they know their names, by the way. They already introduced each other. So Sonic got out of the car. Tom's like, crap, must be in this party or something. So then that's when the whole bar part of the movie plays. It's pretty short. Sonic is in the costume, and people think he's a kid. He asks for buffalo wings from a waiter or something, and anyway, that's when they're like, and then that's when Tom's like, no, we got to go do this mission now, or else we're all going to die. And Sonic's like, man, but I'm only on this planet for a little bit. Can't I just have a little bit of fun? And then Tom's like, well, I suppose we could do that. What's on your bucket list? And Sonic's like, what's a bucket list? So then that's kind of a key plot point, the bucket list. And then Sonic writes his down, a couple different things. So they're like, all right, let's do your bucket list. So then they play around the bar, do fun stuff like ride the rodeo thing, and they play darts. I forgot what else they do. But anyway, I forgot what gets this. Okay, so I'm desperately trying to remember. My apologies, but they do get this one big buff guy angry at the bar. They get this guy angry, and then Sonic is trying to be all smart aleck, and he's trying to outsmart him. He's like, hey, I bet I can take you on, most definitely. And then big buff guy tries to deck Sonic in the face, and then Sonic's like, oh, I better get out of the way, and then he punches Tom in the face instead. And then the whole bar starts fighting. Everybody starts trying to beat the crap out of each other and Sonic's just like, let's go, this is a fight. I'm gonna deck the mess out of these people. And Sonic is actually very weak for some reason. He's not laying an inch on this. He's not beating an inch on on the big buff guy. So anyway, big buff guy tries to tackle him, and this is when Sonic goes uber fast to where it's basically Zawaldo. Everything stops, and then Sonic's doing some fun stuff. He's like, time is basically slowed down. I mean, not actually. Sonic's going so fast to where it seems that way. So he starts playing with all the people, starts smacking them in the face, starts using toilet paper, gets smacked with his shoe, all that stuff. Basically, he takes out everyone in the bar at once. That's essentially what happens. He takes out everyone at the bar at once. It's pretty funny to watch. And then when time resumes, they're like, okay, well, we better get out of here. So, yeah, they better. So yeah, they leave. And then the whole bar mob is chasing after them. And then yeah, they get in the car. Sonic's all like, "Oh boy, I wanted to do this trick," and did the trick. So anyway, yeah, they leave the bar. So that's cool. And then yeah, back to road trip fun. So anyway, Sonic and Tom, they keep driving along. I feel like I'm missing things. I apologize if I am. But anyway, Sonic and Tom they're driving along. They're having, they're talking about like their bucket list, and Sonic gets mad because Tom, he finds out that Tom is moving to San Francisco, and since this is where they realize this is where he realizes Sonic's been stalking him, basically. So anyway, Sonic gets mad at Tom because he's not staying there for his people. He's not getting them whenever he needs him. Sonic basically doesn't want him to move on to better things. So Sonic gets mad at Tom, and then suddenly Robotnik in big freaking truck comes in, and he gets a big freaking harpoon in the car. So, and yet they're still mad at each other. And Sonic, he's still mad. He gets shot out of the car. He's on like the roof of the car, and then he's still just ranting on about how he's not staying in Green Hill to help the people. And then he gets mad. This is when he gets into his phase of being like super powerful, where he exploded. Before he exploded, he got like blue eyes, and we're just gonna call it. What do we call it? What are we gonna call that phase? I don't want to call it Supersonic because that's cheesy. Let's call it Hypernova Sonic. That's not what it's actually called. We're just gonna stick with that. So, while Sonic was on the baseball field, Sonic's eyes went blue, and he was like in this hypernova state, and that's when the big explosion happened. It was all electric and stuff. So Sonic kind of goes into that phase again, and then that's when Tom gets the brilliant idea to use that to his advantage. He pulls the brake on the car, which sends Sonic flying and gets him in a ball, and it completely destroys the ship. Or no, not the ship. It completely turns the truck on its head, and it feels like Sonic dies, or it looks like Sonic dies apparently, but it doesn't. And then Tom goes to check on him, and he's like, okay, and this is where I get mad. Sonic's all like, yeah, I'm alive. Isn't that crazy? He's alive. And he starts flossing. Sonic flosses. I'm mad. You make my precious boy Sonic floss. That is sinful. How dare you? Anyway, so that's where they're like, I have no idea how I'm alive, but I'm alive, I guess. And then he's like, is that all you got? And Robotnik's like, no, but thanks for asking. So Anyway, flossing aside and my anger, got angry. Um, yeah, I'm kind of kidding. Anyway, so what else? So then Robotnik sends another tiny thing at him. I don't know why, but you know, it is what it is. I guess. Robotnik likes smaller vehicles. So then, you know, Sonic eventually takes those out too, and then, you know, Sonic takes them out, and then, um, and then for some reason, Tom tells Sonic to drive. Sonic doesn't really know how to drive, and Sonic's like, I feel just like Ben Diesel, and so, yeah, the movie does a lot of corny jokes like that, like referencing other people, other things from different films, and product placement. Again, the product placement later. So yeah, for some reason, I can't think. So Sonic has to drive. Tom beats the mess out of the robot. Has trouble doing so, but he does it. Sonic's terrible driving. But, yeah, they do it. And basically, all of Robotnik's things have been taken out. So, except for one little robot. One little robot manages to completely destroy the entire roof of the car. Or the truck. It's a truck. They destroy the entire roof of the truck, and they pull over because it's actually a bomb about to detonate. So, anyway, so they have to pull over. Sonic and Tom, they manage to get it off, and then Sonic does get it off, but he's being cocky and he's like, "Haha, I nailed it!" And then it explodes when he's nearby. So then Sonic goes unconscious. Oh boy. Yeah, so Sonic goes unconscious, and he needs an Elise kiss. Okay, I'm kidding. That's not what happens at all. But, anyway, Tom has to take him all the way back to Green Hill, his house, because, you know, he's unconscious, and, they don't want the family hanging out, but, his wife's sister is very mad very mad. Oh. Am I dumb? I completely forgot the hotel scene. So, after the whole bar thing, they go into a hotel and they sleep. And then, Sonic says, "I don't want to sleep." And, well, he does sleep eventually, but Tom's like, "Find everything fun in this room," and then he does, and then Sonic's like, "Oh, yep, that was fun," and then he farts, which wasn't very funny. Anyway, yeah, I don't know, just some random ass fart joke. I don't know. Anyway, so yeah, that was basically that. So, and Tom notices on his bucket list. Back at the hotel, he notices something on his bucket list that isn't crossed down and says, "Make a real friend." So, that point, Sonic has to make a real friend, and that's his thing on his bucket list. So, anyway, back to where I was talking about. Anyway, the family uncovers the blanket, the dog uncovers the blanket, and Sonic's revealed, and the sister to his wife passes out. They think he's like a terrorist, by the way, because he decked Robotnik in the face. They think he's like a terrorist now or something. So it's kind of strange. So anyway, they try to help Sonic, they try to get Sonic conscious again, you know, and then, It's just him and his wife, and then Sonic wakes up and he's hyperactive, and he's like, "What year is it? Is The Rock president?" Which was very. Where did they get that joke? The Rock being president? I don't know. Anyway, whatever. So anyway, the wife's like, hey, can we talk a moment? And I was like, what the heck is that thing? And he was like, look, I know it's crazy, but he's actually my friend. So yeah. So yeah, and by the way, the little girl named JoJo, I find that funny. I don't know why I find that funny. It just kind of is to me. But anyway, she gives Sonic a new pair of shoes, which are similar to the iconic red shoes we know today. For the previous movie, he hasn't been wearing those. He's been wearing shoes that are really, really tiring on him, really tiring his feet. I even notice when they're expecting his unconscious body, like that, you know, he keeps wearing out like his socks and stuff. So yeah, they don't. So that's basically what happens. Sonic, you know, he keeps wearing out his shoes. So anyway, these shoes, they don't wear out. So these are basically the perfect shoes that JoJo gives Sonic. I'm sorry. I don't know why that's funny. It just is. Oh, why of all things name it JoJo? Okay, no offense to anyone named JoJo. In fact, I find your name very cool, but anyway. Anyway, they come back. Sonic's playing with Tom's dog, and so, and then they agree to help Sonic, even though the wife is still terrified. But anyway, they make it to, for some baffling reason, even after Sonic's bad driving, they let Sonic drive all the way to San Francisco, and you can see that the car is all busted up and stuff. And I'm like, Tom, if his last driving attempt wasn't good, then why'd you let him drive again? So anyway, yeah, Sonic drove there for some reason. I don't know why, but anyway, so they make it to the tower. Sonic can't find an entrance, apparently, so they just have to, since Tom is like a cop, he pretends that there's like something really bad happening on the roof, which is where Sonic's rings are, and they have to get it. They have to get to that roof. So anyway, they make it. They have to hide Sonic in the bag. They make it to the elevator. So yeah, they make it to the elevator. They go up the elevator. Sonic and the other people, they're on the roof. They're like, "Yay! I found my rings." So I guess this is goodbye. I guess so. Yeah. Meanwhile, before all of that happened, this is a very bad review. Robotnik was busy using his power of groovy dancing and machinery to use Sonic's powerful quill to power his new mech, his new machine. When they're on the roof, Robotnik shows up with that same machine. It apparently goes the same speed as Sonic, so Sonic actually has a worthy opponent now. So anyway, they're on the roof. All of them they're basically trapped. I think I should start going into spoiler territory, because this is like right where the climax of the movie comes into play. So so I better do that. I'm gonna play really badly because I can't see. I'm just gonna enable this. There we go. We are now in spoiler territory. We are in the climax of the movie. So, oh wow, I'm still alive. Anyway, we are in the climax of the movie. So, Robotnik shows up on his new ship, He's in red. He's dressed in red. I forget the reason why. There's a reason why, but I forgot. Anyway, he's dressed in red, similar to actual Eggman. And this is when Sonic actually starts calling him Eggman, which is very strange. At first I thought it was like a joke, like, ha ha ha, they call him Eggman everywhere else, but then he's called Eggman for the rest of the movie, which is very, very weird. It's like, that's all Sonic calls him. Like, he calls Tom the Donut Lord, which relates to somewhere in the beginning of the movie, because donuts. So anyway, trying to think. So anyway, missiles are all locked on to Tom and his wife and Sonic, and then Sonic gets the brilliant idea. He pushes them off the cliff. He just yeets them. He kicks them both off the edge. So, because reasons. And then Robotnik's like, I did not expect that, but I expected not to expect something. So he fires all the missiles, and that's when Sonic does his whole stop time thing again. And then he, basically blows up all the missiles. And he's like, haha, I'm the only one with this power. But, little does he know, Robotnik actually starts firing beams at him. And, Sonic actually, Robotnik has basically invaded his speedy time sanctuary thing. So that's kind of what happens. Robotnik is basically now the same speed as Sonic in his mech. So now it's a much more even fight. So anyway, because Tom and his wife are falling to their death, his rings are scattered because he dropped them out of his thing when he got shot by Robotnik's beam. So he was planning on running down and then just using it, but Sonic manages to get a ring, luckily, and he throws it right under Tom and them to a barn with hay. That way they have a safe landing. And then this is where it goes back to the whole city thing. Robotnik, this is back to the city thing. They're like, alright, well, it's time to tussle. It's time to fight. Let's go. So then they start running around the city and fighting. Sonic's running away from Eggman at this point. I'm just going to call him Eggman. So anyway, it goes back. His symbolic beginning cliche. Sonic's running away from Eggman while Eggman's trying to kill him. So, and then it pauses right on the same frame where they went back. And it's like, we've learned a lot in this amount of time. Alright, let's see how it ends. So then Sonic starts using his rings to, he nabs them all. He starts using his rings to go from world to world while he's being transported. So he goes from this is where some funny things happen. He goes to Paris, I think. It looks like Paris. I'm probably not really right. Goes around there. Sonic is just running away. He goes to all of these different locations, like Paris, the Great Wall of China, goes to freaking Egypt. And in Egypt, he's running on top of the pyramid, and then he spins a tornado first, which is supposed to blind Robotnik so we can't find him. But Robotnik gets out of it pretty quickly, and right before Sonic enters his last portal, Robotnik gets a solid shot on Sonic. He shoots him with a rocket, and then Sonic goes unconscious while going through the next ring, where just so happened to be where Tom and his wife were at night. So I'm like, okay, can these things go through time now? Anyway, whatever. So anyway, this is where the whole finale takes place. Sonic's unconscious and everyone's basically doomed. Eggman has like all his targets locked on Sonic, and then Tom tries to fight Robotnik. He sees a ring next to Sonic. He sees a ring next to Sonic, so he grabs it, and he's like, so I don't remember the sequence of events that happen, but they fight, and Robotnik's like, it's like, why are you risking your life to fight this stupid alien? And then Tom's like, because he's my friend. And then that gives Sonic the Omega Boner, and he wakes up, and then he goes back into his insane state of electricity, his hypernova Sonic. Before that, though, I actually laughed for some reason when this happened. Tom takes a ring, and he knows apparently how to use it, and he goes right behind Robotnik and starts fighting them there. I don't know why I found that funny, but I just did. I'm like, what the frick is this? I'm like, okay, you suddenly know how to use Sonic's ring. I'm like, whatever. So, anyway, after that, Sonic gets the last of the Quill juice from Robotnik's machine, and then they fight, and then Sonic tosses a ring to seals him to a completely different world. It's like, Robotnik's like, oh, this world doesn't need you. If you weren't here, everything would have been fine. And then Sonic's like, no, this world doesn't need you. So Sonic sends him to another planet, and he destroys his machine, sends him to another planet, and then everyone's like, haha, high five, yeah, we did it, we got Robotnik. And then everybody else is just like, alright, everybody, just normal, your average alien invasion attack. You didn't see anything. So everybody just goes back to their lives, and so yeah, that's when they decide for Sonic to stay on Earth. I don't know why, but they just decide Sonic can stay on Earth now. And then Sonic, it goes, yeah, that's basically the end. Tom and his wife walk off, Sonic walks off, and then it cuts to their house, back, all that stuff. And they're about to watch a movie. Whole family's about to watch a movie. Apparently, one of the things was the sister was tied up because she was just going mad over her hatred for Tom. Very weird. Lasts till like the very end of the movie too, which is kind of funny. So, anyway, yeah, they're about to watch movies, and then Sonic is still in, and it's like, alright, well, you guys wanted me. And it's like, okay, well, you guys want me to go home. I'm going back to my cave. And then Tom's like, alright, well, and Sonic's like, wait, what? No, you're home. What? No, not there. This is your cave. And he opens up the attic, and it is a complete replica of Sonic's cave on Earth, which is interesting. I'm like, how did you know that this is all of Sonic's stuff? Like, did you learn about Sonic that quickly, or do you somehow memorize his cave lair even though you've never been to it before? So anyway, heartwarming moment. Anyway, it's a very, very, very heartwarming moment. Sonic's like, oh yeah, this is so cool, I get to live up here. And then Sonic flosses on his bed again. Gosh darn it, why did you make Sonic floss? Why? I will never understand. And they're like, yeah, you're my new best animal buddy. And then it's like, oh wait, no, Doc's coming up. Oh god, we're playing with him. And then the movie ends. But then it goes to, and then right before the movie ends, So we're talking about end credit stuff and post scene stuff. So then, before the credits, it cuts to Robotnik, Eggman, being on this mushroom island with all his materials, surviving. And this is what we saw at the very end of the first Sonic movie trailer. Eggman he's gone bald. He has a bigger mustache now. He looks more like Eggman. He even talks like Eggman. Like, he has that crackling voice in his voice now. I can't do it because I don't have Eggman potential, clearly. But, yeah, that's basically what happens at the end. He's trying to survive, and he eventually, since he has the quill, he's like, I'm gonna find my way back. Stuff like that. And so, pretty exciting, all that jazz. So, yeah. Then the credits play, and it's a pretty cute credit scene, honestly. It's like a 16-bit version. Sonic has his tan arms for some reason. His arms are blue in the movie, but for some reason, in the credits sequence, they're tan, like the games. I don't know why they did that. But yeah, it's basically a sprite animation of basically everything that happened in the movie. Pretty cute, honestly. And then and now we're gonna talk about the post-credits scene. So, big shout out, my boy Tails! They're totally having a sequel because Tails tosses a ring on the other edge of the thing. Tails, big shocker, Tails comes in. And it's like the wind is like surrounding a certain spot, and then a ring comes up, and then Tails comes out, and then he's like typing on his device, and he's like, apparently he seems to be on this planet. He seems to be on this planet right here. And then he starts flying off, and then starts speeding off in the distance, orange trails. And I gotta say, Tails looks amazing, actually. Tails looks really, really good. And if they're planning a sequel, I'm really excited for that. So, anyway, that's basically everything in the movie. I'm sure I missed a couple things. So, all in all, it was a good movie, honestly. It's one of the better video game movies, for sure. It's enjoyable. Some parts kind of dragged on. I never wanted to leave the theater at any point. And, the only problem I would say is probably like the pacing in the center half of the movie. But, I thought it was a pretty decent movie, honestly. It's not bad. If you got families, you can take your family. They'll enjoy it. They won't have a miserable time. So it's very enjoyable. As good as Detective Pikachu, I don't really think that's the case. But it was a solid movie, all in all. I enjoyed it quite a bit. I'll probably watch it again when it goes on Blu-ray. Probably buy it on Blu-ray because I did enjoy it a lot. It's not the greatest movie ever. It has flaws. It has quite a bit of flaws, actually. I think I mentioned a few of them. But it was enjoyable. It's one of the more enjoyable video game movies, and that's one thing to say for sure. You'll definitely enjoy the film if you're not trying to nitpick every single bad thing about it. Like, if you're trying to nitpick everything, then you'll probably say it's not that good. But, if you just sit back, casually watch it, and, just try to enjoy it, then yeah, you'll definitely find it enjoyable like I did. So I'm very happy that the movie actually turned out this way. It's not amazing. It's not a masterpiece at all. If I had to rate it, I would give it, I'll save the rating for later. One thing, I don't know why, this just popped into my head. I wanted to say this. PG movies, I swear, they are starting... It's like, words like hell, or hell isn't a bad word, but, when they use it, what the hell, or, that's hella something, I forgot what the phrase was, but they're starting to use that in PG movies now, and I'm like, well, that's strange, because that happened like twice in the movie. And at one point in the finale of the movie, Tom goes like, son of a bit, son of a, like, as if he was saying son of a bitch, which is kind of crazy. I'm like, whoa there. You don't want to raise this movie's age rating now, do you? And I was like, that was crazy. I don't know. It's kind of funny how movies nowadays get to sneak that stuff in there. But, yeah. I'd give it a 7 out of 10, honestly. It's not great. It's not awful. It's not really mediocre. It's a good movie. There was care put into it. You know, the people were they cared about what they were doing. You know, they weren't like doing this for complete cash grab money. Well, maybe they were until they saw all the crazy feedback. If this movie still had the old design, I'd be tempted to give it like a 4 out of 10 or 5 out of 10. Because you're going to the movie to see Sonic. And Sonic back then looked like complete garbage. So yeah, like the jokes probably wouldn't have changed at all if they kept the original design. You know, it still would have been probably passable. It would have been very mediocre if they kept the original design. But thanks to the fact that they did change the design, I think it elevates up to a pretty good movie. Not amazing, but pretty good. Solid 7 out of 10 for me, personally. That opinion may change as time goes on. Who knows? But I enjoyed it. Let me know what you guys think. I enjoyed it. It was a pretty fun movie. I'm most definitely going to watch it again at one point in time. Because there were parts of it that I legitimately enjoyed. I thought Sonic looked really, really cool in the movie. It was pretty funny. I really like Jim Carrey. Jim Carrey and Ben Schwartz, Sonic and Robotnik. Easy highlights of the movie. So, yeah. Kind of crazy after these 4 years of waiting for the Sonic movie. It actually didn't turn out that bad. So, yeah. Take that for what you will. So, yeah.